Looks like the second month of 2023 is already in the books. Welcome to this month's episode of Best New Balances of the Month. As usual, I'll start off the first half of the video with all of the New Balances that released during the month of February, and I'll end off the video with all of the reveals or leaks of New Balances that will come out at later dates. First up is a new GR for the 580, this being the Night Watch Green and Sea Salt colorway. This GR, in my opinion, is really fire. I really liked it as soon as I saw it, and this colorway is still sitting in a full-size run on New Balance as well as various boutiques, so it's a very accessible shoe as well. And now that I have it in hand, especially because of the aged midsole, it reminds me of an ALD collab. Like, I think this GR could easily be written off as an ALD collab, but of course it's not. It's just a widely accessible GR, and that's what makes it really awesome. And next up we have a new GR 9060 colorway. It's called the Blue and Turtle Dove colorway, and what's notable about this colorway is that it is very reminiscent of the very popular Bodega 9060 collaboration that dropped at the end of 2022. That was probably one of the most popular 9060s of 2022, and I think New Balance really wanted to capitalize on it and release this GR of the 9060 in a very similar colorway. And next up is a new performance basketball model in the Kawhi Leonard Signature Model 3. This first colorway is called the Alpha Predator colorway, and it definitely looks pretty cool on the silhouette. I'm not really a big basketball guy, and I wouldn't really know much about the performance basketball models, but it is cool to see the third Kawhi signature model. And next up we have the two Teddy Santis releases of the month. There was a 990 V2 and V3, both in similar brown, purple, and orange colorways. I personally didn't really care too much for these. I personally think that if you replace the brown with either white or black, I think they would have looked a lot better, but I think the current combination of brown, purple, and orange just is okay. I don't really dislike it, but I definitely don't really like it. But if you did like it, they are accessible like all the other previous Teddy Santis Season 2 releases, so you can still grab them if you really want them. And next up, we had an early release of the next 2002R Refined Future Pack. They had an early release at Up Their Store, an Australian boutique, but of course they're probably going to get a wider release as the year goes on. These four colorways are four very simple colorways on the Refined Future 2002R, and I think they are all pretty solid. And next up, we have a 991 GR, this time in an eraser pink colorway. I think this colorway looks really fire. This shade of eraser pink just looks so good, especially on the 991. I think 2 years ago there was a pink 991 GR already, but man, this new shade of eraser pink looks really good. And I say it all the time, but New Balance just does pink so well, no matter the silhouette and no matter the shade, and this is no exception. And next up, we have the first shoe from Teddy Santis Season 3 that released exclusively on MLE on Door, that being the Navy 996. This is the first Main USA 996 ever since it was vaulted years ago. Of course, there have been Asian-made 996s that have been available for the past few years, but of course, no one really cared too much about these, so it's really cool that Teddy Santis is bringing back the Main USA 996 in Season 3, and you can grab one right now. They do cost $185, and there's no free shipping on MLE on Door, but they are still sitting in a full-size run, so if you really want to get them, you can still get them. It's a nice and widely accessible release. I personally grabbed a pair, and I'm really excited to get my first pair of Main USA 996s. First collab of February that I'm going to go over is the Size 1906R collaboration in this neon green and black colorway. These released exclusively on Size, so that means you could only get them if you lived in Europe, and I think maybe Canada, since Size has a Canada store, but if you lived in the US, you weren't able to get them. This is a very loud colorway, and you guys know I like the louder colorways, but I personally didn't really care too much for this collab. And next up, on the opposite end of the color spectrum, is the DTLR 990 V3 Grayscale collaboration. This is a very low-key and stealthy look for the 990 V3. It's mostly black and gray, and the top of the tongue is made out of black leather, which is really nice. It also came with a plethora of lace options, which was also really cool. I personally didn't pick up this collaboration, but what was really interesting was that it retailed for $210. I'm wondering what justified the cost. I'll probably watch a review of them after I make this video, but I think that is definitely an interesting increased price point, and regardless, it did sell out. And next up, we had the highly anticipated Jown 991 collaboration. I mean, it's another Jown collaboration in their signature brown shade, and it seems like it was pretty hard to get, like all Jown collaborations. I didn't really care too much for the collaboration. collection, and regardless, it sold out and is going for a lot of money on the resale market. And next up, we have the Stone Island 574 Legacy collaboration. This is a pretty dope Stone Island collaboration on the 574 Legacy silhouette. It has the signature Stone Island colors as well as ballistic nylon where mesh would usually go, and it retailed for $140. At first, I thought this was just gonna sit, especially at that price point and on a silhouette that people didn't really care too much about, but it instantly sold out despite that, which was pretty surprising for me. And to round up the releases of February 2023, we have 4 new Miu Miu collaboration 574s. If you watched my worst New Balances of 2022, you guys would know that that year's Miu Miu 574 collaborations were the worst New Balances of 2022, so that's why I am really confused on why Miu Miu is making another batch of them for 2023. Similar to last year's batch, there are going to be 3 574s in a distressed denim inspired colorway that looks really ugly, and they're also made in Italy again, and they're also upcharged at $1,000 after tax. Really overpriced for a very ugly shoe. I don't know why they made another batch. And lastly, there's a 4th colorway in this collaboration pack. It's different from the other 3, but it's simply a leather 574 with fake dirt on it. It's following the trend of pre-distressed sneakers, like the designer sneakers. This is probably going to be one of my worst New Balances of 2023, and we're only 2 months in. I don't know why this exists. No one's going to buy this, especially for that ridiculous price. And now I'm going to go over all of the reveals or leaks during the month of February. First up, we have 3 loud colorways of the 610 silhouette. These 3 colorways are all solid colors. What really sticks out to me is this all bright orange 610. Definitely looks really interesting. This might be the same 610 that Joe Freshgoods wore last month in his Instagram photo, but I'm not too sure. And next up, we have the 576 30th anniversary pack. The Made in UK 576 is celebrating its 30th anniversary and is going to be releasing in 2 pretty simple and clean colorways. They look really solid and they look to be made of premium materials, so this is definitely going to be an exciting release, and they should be releasing within the next month or so. And next up, we have a leak of one of the 990 V4s coming out in Teddy Santis Season 3. This colorway appears to be a hairy gray suede with some small navy blue accents. This is a pretty simple and clean colorway for Teddy Santis Season 3, especially on the 990 V4. The 990 V4 has been in the vault for a while, unless you count that Jown collaboration that came out a year or 2 ago, so it's really cool to see that's going to be brought back for Season 3 as well as in core colorways. And this colorway from Season 3 definitely looks nice. You guys know I love hairy suede. It's mostly hairy suede, and I think it's a pretty simple and clean shoe for Season 3. And next up, we have a teaser from Teddy Santis himself for an ALD collaboration on the 860 V2. The 860 is a 2000s running shoe, and it also has the midsole that's utilized on the 2002R and 1906R, so it's definitely going to be a very comfortable shoe. I'm not too big of a fan of the look of the upper, but the 2000s running aesthetic has been a big hit with the 2002R and the 1906R, so this will probably be popular, especially with this ALD collaboration pack. This ALD pack seems to consist of 3 different colorways, and I think they're going to come out within the next few months or so, especially with ALD's spring-summer collection already dropping. Speaking of ALD, Teddy Santis also teased a new colorway for the Rainier, this colorway being a gray and purple colorway. I'm not too big of a fan of this colorway, but it's still really interesting, and it definitely looks like it's going to be utilizing very premium materials like the other ALD Rainiers. And the last shoe I'm going to go over for the month of February is this sample pair of Arley RC30s. This RC30 is made out of entirely of the same shade of green and is utilizing hairy green suede, and I think it looks pretty dope. It's very similar to the Arley XC72 collaborations. Both of those collaboration packs actually sold out despite it being on an unpopular silhouette, and I think Arley is doing their magic on the RC30 like they did the XC72. The RC30 is a nice looking silhouette, but it's definitely not popular, but I think this collaboration will sell out whenever it comes out, and of course this is just a sample, so I'm not too sure if this colorway is going to come out or not, but regardless, whatever Arley's going to do, I think it's going to be pretty solid. And that wraps up February 2023. What were your guys' favorite New Balance releases or reveals during the month of February? I'd definitely like to know down in the comments. So that's going to do it for this video. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Follow me on my socials. Check out the Intelligence site for more New Balance content and guides. Consider leaving a super thanks in the tip jar below if you really loved the video, and thanks for watching.